Hello folks, welcome back. I just started a game with the intention of playing one or two inside my head, and then all of a sudden it started. I didn't expect anybody to accept my challenge, but they did. So I'm playing against Sisyphos, which is a famous story from the Greek mythology, in case you would rather hear about that than the Spanish Jaenisch variation, which is often referred to incorrectly as the Schliemann. So Sisyphus was a poor dude who got punished by the gods. I can't remember what he did. And as a result of his punishment, or his punishment was, is it Queen E2? Or Bishop, or Knight takes, I always forget this. I think it's Knight takes, Queen E2. Is that right, folks? Bishop E7, Bishop takes, Pawn takes, Knight. Yeah, that's it. Okay, yeah, so yeah, Sisyphus was a dude who did something against the gods, and then they punished him by forcing him to roll a massive rock up onto a hill. And of course, all the time he tried doing that, the rock rolled back, and so he started all over. He had to start all over again. And so from this point on, we have this expression of a Sisyphus type of work or job, which refers to being utterly meaningless and hopeless in execution or doing it. Yeah, this is theory. I never really understood why people play this. I just have no idea whatsoever, because they are by force a pawn down for what I would call no compensation whatsoever. It is a theoretical position, and a fair few people opt for playing like this, and yeah, I just don't get it. I think I stopped this up a couple of days ago. I had a look at this line with the computer, and I think the computer recommended here b3. I was a bit reluctant to allow bishop here, rook here, or maybe then d4. Because now I'm a bit worried about c5 hitting me at a certain point. So could I still opt for b3 here? Yeah, I can. Okay, so now what I'm seeing is b3, c5, bishop b2, takes, bishop takes, and then bishop takes c2. Does that work? With the idea that if I take, then bishop takes c5. Too many arrows, eh? Bishop to take, bishop c2, and if knight f3, then queen g6. So, probs, it doesn't work. But I don't want to give in just yet. Because it's not meant to hurt me. Oh, wait. What about if then I play f4? Ah, no, the queen can go to a lot of squares. Actually, I can see something. After c5, bishop b2 takes, bishop c2. I can queen take, bishop takes, queen takes, and rook e1. And his queen is awkwardly tied down to the defense of this pawn, which means that my heavy pieces are going to dominate both of the open files. Materially balanced, but it's a tricky scenario. I just realized that I totally missed something here. After bishop takes, pawn takes, queen g6, he's threatening here, as well as down here. That's not pretty. I missed that. Yeah, that was very unfortunate, and it's typical in this variation too. So bishop takes, pawn takes, queen g6, hitting the pawn. I can't move it because of bishop d3, and any other case, bishop here is hurting me like heck. Actually, I could go here. I shall do that. It's ugly as sin. Oh, but then bishop e4. How clever. And I can't play f3 anymore. Hang on, did I just talk a ton of nonsense? Because after rook here, bishop here, I've got f4. Okay, I just did talk a lot of nonsense, apparently. Right. Okay. So essentially, the position now is... Basically, I'm 2 pawns up. Because these 4 against d3 are useless. And I have got 4 against 2 on this side, which is very usable. The only reason why he's not utterly hopelessly dead, like 100% dead, is because we have got opposite colored bishops, and my bishop is actually not really contributing much, whereas his white squared bishop is remarkably active. So it is still a technical difficulty to convert a win like this, but I should be able to do this. I'm expecting bishop f5 so that my rook is still tied down to the defense of the pawn, and occasionally he can hassle me with bishop e4. Nothing else seems to make any sense to me. Nothing else. And yeah, this white squared blockade is quite annoying. This is decidedly odd, because now I can play rook d1 without any concerns whatsoever, because if bishop g4 I always have this check to duck out of that motif without being hurt at all. Plus, after rook takes, I may even be able to take back like this. Rook check. Oh no, he has got rook f8. No, queen c4. No, okay, not quite. But even after rook d1, I can take back with the queen. And after bishop f5, rook f2, bishop e4, queen d4 takes e6. Oh, that's getting juicy. I quite like that. Okay, there are some tactical lines here that I quite enjoy exploring. Okay, so of course I can't play rook d1, rook takes, queen takes, because I get mated here, so that was just a trick to check if you are paying attention. Okay. At first I thought this was not a good move at all, but the longer I look at it, the more I find benefits of that move that I somewhat underestimated beforehand. I really don't want to play moves like queen f3. In fact, as best as I can, I would like to keep my dudes on dark squares. Maybe I can just play here and get rid of with this red once and for all. I'm fine with that. And if bishop f5, then probably... I can actually try rook this d1, so that after rook takes, bishop takes c2, I have rook d7. Is that very far-fetched with the intention of e6? Oh, we're good to go. I'm really cute. Oh, shoot. That's Let's just ask for a take back. I'm really curious if this idea works or not. So the plan is rook takes, bishop takes c2, rook d7. And the plan is to play e6. So if rook takes f4, e6, and everybody's losing. That's the plan. Whether it will work or not, I have no idea. Well, I do have an idea. I'm pretty sure it does work. So rook takes, bishop c2, rook d7, rook f4, e6. Okay, isn't that asking me to play the correct move? Or am I stumbling into this? Wow, this is really poor chess now. So now I do not have c4 because of bishop here. Mind you, then after queen takes, takes on d5, I only have a heck of a counterplay there, except that I really wouldn't want to lose this pawn. That would be a very, very spectacular queen sack, but I don't think it's good enough, sadly. That will be subject of later analysis though, because I quite like the idea. As for now, I think I'm gonna go with h3 because I want to eliminate the bishop g4 threat, as well as all the dirty back rank mate threats. And after rook f8, c4, rook take, queen takes, bishop e4. Actually, I just had an idea. After rook d8, I'm gonna play g4. And if bishop e4 check, I'm just gonna go up. And the plan is to play f5, e6 and just go nuts. But yeah, it would have been very, very cool here to go for this c4, bishop here, queen takes, cd5. Perhaps rook takes f4 is best with the intention of quick rook f2 to mate me here before I do any harm to him. But yeah, it looked very, very fascinating. No drinks. That's disappointing. Let's get a drink, folks. We need to drink. Because this is a toughie. So yeah, I expect, oh sorry, I'm not showing you the right position. H5 is very typical in these scenarios to prevent G4 for all, once and for all. But then after C4, rook D5 has just become a complete lemon. Because after rook takes, I can now take back with the rook. And I'm gaining more and more in this position. Yep, so the plan was to play G4 and I think I'm going to go with it. Yep. Unless I'm blundering some tactic stuff, this is gonna hurt him a lot. Oh, I did blunder tactic stuff. Bishop takes here, rook takes d5, bishop e4 check. That's nice. Sucks that I missed it, but hey, life is hard. Rook up. Something takes on d5, pawn f5. That is going to be crazy wild stuff. That is going to be the wildest stuff ever. In fact, after bishop c2, do I not have f5? Rook d1, rook d1, rook d1, queen d1, bishop d1 takes on g6. No, that's rubbish. Okay. I don't. Then. Long story short, I don't. Okay. This is getting very juicy. Yeah, this is why you always check your opponent's checks. So bishop takes, rook d5, and bishop swings back to e4 check. King up. And I don't know what I would expect him to take with. Definitely a piece, because otherwise c7 hangs. So if rook takes, pawn f5. Oh, and that separates actually the queen and the rook. So then after queen h6, queen e4, something comes down to d2 still hurts because this is hanging, but yeah, this is now he has to be careful too with calculating stuff. And I still prefer my chances for an endgame here because this 4 is still way more mobile than this 4 here. So if rook takes f5, queen h6, threatening rook d2 pin. Queen takes e4, rook d2 check, king g3, rook takes b2, pawn e6. That looks like a... Oh, hang on, my rook is hanging here. Okay, I was getting carried away a little bit there. Right. Okay, let me think. He's brave. He's very, very brave, and that is something that I acknowledge. Maybe just rook here is a very simple solution to my problem, because if bishop d3, then the bishop blocks the file with its own body. And if bishop c2, I can just go e6. Or even f5 then. Yeah, let's not complicate matters when it's not necessary, guys. I think this is a very clever move. Instead of going into the mess with f5, queen h6, I just put him on the back foot by attacking this magnificently placed bishop, and I'm ready to draw my pawns. The only thing I need to watch out for is not to die to some stupid tactics on the second rank, but this is very unlikely to occur now. So Mr. Sisyphos is actually still pushing the rock up on the hill by the looks of things, because this is really an uphill battle for him, and has been from the get-go, if we really want to be honest with ourselves. Yeah. Quite cool, Joel. Yep. And the plan was to come here. I'm just double checking everything. And f5 next. I don't see what he has. I think it's resignable, but maybe I'm missing something again. Also, please note how I took care of that square now. So after f5, queen h6, I can just take it, and then I have got 17 pass pawns in his face. So even if he drops the bishop back somewhere here, with the intention of penetrating on d3, I can play f5 and shut that down. And rook d3 is only supported by the bishop, doesn't cause any troubles to me. One big point or advantage of my position is that he can't really swing the queen onto the d file in one move, and 2 is just too many. So if you were to play, for example, queen e8, then I can just play either f5 or e6, rather e6 actually, and it's not realistic for him to build up a d file threat, because my pawn will be on e10 by the time he arrives down here. To be honest, I think it's GG. I am in a rather celebratory mode now, simply because I just don't see what he can do. Very typical of club level players and lower level players, that when they play a move like this and they notice that it's attacking, that they get fascinated by the pawn. Took me 2 minutes to even realize that I was hitting that. Not because of I'm a bad player, but because that's not something that I would ever play in this position. Like, the whole business is about me diffusing this bomb that is his light square activity, and to push his pawn up, these pawns up in his face. Please note that once... Oops, queen h6. Okay. Well, bro, I am getting a queen. How about you? So after e6, bishop g6, f5, I've got a spectacular line with bishop, queen takes, queen, rook takes, rook check, king up. And if rook takes bishop, I take his bishop, and the pawn can't be stopped. That's the line I'm looking at right now. But actually, after e6, bishop back, I can even play queen c3 and probably be winning there too. Yeah. In fact, even after e7, like, what the heck am I talking about? Bishop e8 and then... Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. Yep, everything is happening as per expected. Would love to play f5 without swapping queens. Actually, I think I can do that. Now I'm thinking straight. Because after f5, queen takes, rook takes, bishop e8. I think I still have a bit of a labor, hard labor. Ooh, I nearly played queen c3. That would have been bad. Leaving this on prey. Okay, we have a bit of a problem which I didn't realize, and that is that after rook d3 this is hanging. And also that I can't play queen c3 because this is hanging with check. So, we have to go for the endgame. But that's okay. I think that I should be able to win this. I don't think the check is actually a good move. I think he needs to drop back and try to keep the d file his. Because, yeah, there you go. And my original intention was to come here, but I can also go here. Which has the benefits of hitting there, as well as allowing me to play g5, f6 without hanging my pawn here. I also have king here, so I have got a lot of very easy moves to play now. Whereas he's really struggling with holding his stuff together. And rook check is really bad, because after king up, rook takes, I have got rook d3, rook here, penetration, and that's just game. So, yeah, he just had to do that. Okay, I want to win some time on the clock. So I'm just gonna ignore that move now. Maybe c4 takes rook c5, b5. Okay, so he's trying to generate counterplay, which is the right idea. And maybe I stop this up because now he can swap rooks. Going into, but his position is so passive. No, I don't think. No, it's not survivable. There's no way that he can survive this. King f4 next, regardless of what he does, unless he takes me here. Yep. Nah, this is not survivable because my pawns are too far advanced, and he will have to tie down. Well, he doesn't have to, but yeah, eventually his problem will be that he will have to guard one of these two pawns, and in order to do that, he will have to put the bishop in a very awkward square. That was actually a good move. So if king here, bishop here, here. Okay, let's push this guy up because I want to go here. Yeah, he's dead. He can't stop me doing this. And then check. Wait a second. So f6 takes. Bishop d5, f7 check. Yeah, okay, he's dead. Because now he can't cover this f7 square. So take. He will come back here, or he will take. Doesn't matter. f7 check, and the king is forced to go there. Check and queen. GG. Yeah, I knew that this bishop endgame wasn't holdable. I knew that this bishop endgame. Yes, there we go. Rematch, buddy. One more. No. All right. In that case, a little bit of an analysis. Although I think that I pointed out everything rather well. Oh, not well, but to the best of my ability. So I think that the opening was all fine and dandy. Something rings me about it. According to the computer, this is the way to go. Which looks a bit iffy to me, but potentially right. And now I can even castle here. Which is a big benefit of this whole setup, and then bang, attack here. So yeah, maybe I don't know, this is a very computer-like move. I'm a bit scared to play like that. Excuse me. So I try to do this instead, which had its problems because of the wide square issues. But once again, this position occurred on the board almost by force. And for the life of me, I don't understand what they have for the pawn here. Yes, some vague compensation and some vague wide squared play. But in the end of the day, I'm almost 2 pawns up and there is no exact threats. I think I was playing this actually pretty well at this stage. So the idea here was that in case of takes, I think I wanted to take bishop here, rook d7. And if rook f4, then e6. I don't know, it may turn out to be total nonsense, to be honest. But to be fair, if the rook goes to e4, which was one of my main concerns, I have got mate down here. Any other case, I'm threatening to win a queen. And if queen e6, then I can take with check, so there is no mate down here. It looks legit to me. Bishop d3 is not doable because of rook takes. So yeah, that was, I think, a good piece of calculation there. Rook d5, h3. Okay, I have to admit here that I've missed bishop g4 with rook d5. So that's a clever concept that he shuts down the diagonal, so that now he's threatening to win an exchange. So I had to defend that. And here, I think, again, I came up with this very clever idea, although, to be fair, it was a blunder that I missed bishop on c2. But once again, if these pawns start rolling, I don't care what I'm losing in the process, because they are just unstoppable. And I think that this endgame was actually played, I hate to say this, but with close to perfect accuracy. Bishop e5, not really a biggie to hit the pawn, but in conjunction with this threat, he's really tied down. c5, I just developed my pieces, and now I thought that, okay, it's time to just eliminate that pawn from there so that it simplified the position. Bishop back, although to be honest, on the grand scheme of things, this pawn is neither here nor there, so I could have just played here king f4, c4 takes, and g5. This may have been more consistent with what I said I would do. And now he simply can't stop f6, and then f7 wins the piece. So an example line is this, and this check wins next, without any issues whatsoever. So that could have been fine too. I went for take. Not a biggie, because yeah, this bishop ending is not holdable. Simply the g5 f6 threat ties them down very, very awkwardly, and yeah, there's nothing to be done here. He basically needed to attack this pawn so that I couldn't play f6, and that was not possible, because after bishop here I can go here, and if he here, I catch the pawn. So yeah, he went for the tricky business, but sadly for him, after this check, there is no move left, because these two squares are unavailable, and if they're, then check and queen, and I won. So that was it. Actually, it was quite a quality game, really. There's the Sisyphus, who is still pushing the rock up on the hill. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. It was a bit of a middle game strategy and endgame business, from the better kind, I believe. So let me know what you think, and yeah, we'll go from there. I still haven't heard any ideas about... actually, there was one comment in the previous video about what to do for... the more than 1,000 subscribers. In fact, it's almost 1,200 now, and someone said let's do a lesson for everyone. Well, could do it, but what about and how? So there are lots of question marks about that proposal. So if you would like me to do something unique, doesn't have to be chess related, by the way, as long as I can record it, then let me know, and I will try to please the crowds. Until then, have fun, enjoy the videos, and learn chess. It's good for you. Bye.